The Battle of the Alamo is extremely significant to the history of the United States and even more importantly in the history and lore of Texas. In this video I will try to consolidate the historical event into a short but hopefully informative synopsis of the events that occurred in 1836. If a single word could define American bravery and grit, could signify the American spirit of defiance, that word would be Alamo. At the time of the Alamo, Texas was one big paradox. It was a part of Mexico, but its citizens desperately wanted to be a part of the United States. The U.S. government didn't want it, and Mexico didn't want to let it go. Texas was controlled by Spain, and in 1819 the United States signed a treaty with Spain, taking Florida in exchange for giving up any claim to Texas. In 1822, Mexico gained its independence from Spain and rebuked any offers from the U.S. to buy Texas. However, Mexico made a concession that would change Texas history. It welcomed settlers to the Texas territory, and those new citizens accomplished much in the next 15 years. In 1830, Mexico prohibited further immigration, but by then it was too late. The desire for independence from Mexico was at a fevered pitch, and Mexico knew they would have a difficult time quelling the thirst for a change. Santa Anna became president of Mexico in 1833 and was adamant in his determination to fight Texas' independence. The ragtag Texas Army took the Alamo in December 1835 by defeating Santa Anna's brother-in-law, General Cos. In early 1836, two men, James Bowie in command of a small group of volunteers, and Lieutenant Colonel William Barrett Travis of the Texas Army, were sent to San Antonio to destroy the Alamo, but both men disagreed with the order and decided to stay and defend the old mission. Both men considered themselves to be the commander of the Alamo and couldn't agree on much. Historians believe that if not for the Alamo, both men would have insignificant roles in history. The third legendary figure to die in defense of the Alamo is Davy Crocket. Crocket was already a national figure from Tennessee who served in the Tennessee legislature and the U.S. Congress. He was a media darling due in no small part to his homespun stories, coonskin cap, and Old Betsy rifle. As a side note, I recently did a popular YouTube video titled How Davy Crocket Really Died. I will put a link to that video in the comments section. The Mexican army showed up at the Alamo on February 23, 1836, and began a siege. The 1,500-strong army must have been very intimidating for the small band of Americans. Colonel Travis immediately sent out a message to Colonel James Fannin, who commanded a force of 400 men not far away in Goliad. But Fannin decided that the Alamo was doomed and decided not to go join the battle. The siege went on for 12 days, with Mexican cannons pounding the Alamo walls and rifles sniping. However, not a single casualty occurred inside the Alamo. At 4 a.m. on the morning of the 13th day of the siege, the Mexican army began the final assault. On the first wave of the assault, many Mexican soldiers were killed, and some men ran away screaming, "Diablos, Diablos." Unfortunately for the Americans, additional waves of attack kept coming and coming. The wall of the Alamo was finally breached, and the Mexican soldiers poured into the courtyard, where many would die in hand-to-hand combat. The sheer number of Mexican soldiers eventually overwhelmed the Americans, and the battle for the Alamo was over. Santa Anna ordered all the dead Texans to be burned and denied a Christian burial. The dead Mexican soldiers, who numbered approximately 600, were separated for a decent burial. The Mexican victory at the Alamo would be short-lived. There were to be two more pivotal battles in the war for Texas independence. I intend to do future videos about the battle at Coleto and the final American victory at San Jacinto. If you enjoyed this video, give a thumbs up, make a comment, or most importantly, subscribe to the channel. As always, thanks for watching.